Producer Channel 15, you're watching In Focus. I'm Riley Angel, joined today by head coach Justin Carpenter. Coach, season winding down, 9-14 so far on the year. Looking back, reflecting, I know you have a couple games still to play, but reflecting back on the season so far, how you feel?
Man, I'm feeling really good. You know, if the ball bounces a couple different ways in a couple different ball games, you know, we're looking at a completely different record. And, you know, I think it's a testament to the boys and how hard they're working. And no matter what situation on that, I feel like a broken record, but, you know, it's our boys have really been working hard no matter the situation, taking every game, you know, game by game, and really just putting it all out there. And that's all I can ask of them.
And then, obviously, your first year as head coach, your counterpart, head coach Matt McCarty, also his first year. So coming into the first year, it's always tough for a new head coach, getting your new system into it. I know you were a part of the boys last year as well, so was it a little easier coming in as the main guy, being with these guys last year?
Yeah, I think it helped out a lot. You know, the boys already knew me, trust me, and they know my background. You know, we didn't have to go over the extra hurdle of, you know, learning each other. They already knew me. It's just they hadn't seen me in that position before and how I would operate. So, of course, at first it was a lot of, you know, I hold a lot more accountability than they may have been used to. So, you know, them running a little extra here and there and debating whether it was a track team or not, you know, was kind of a funny thing. But always had to set the record straight and be like, hey, guys, I'm quick to cut it up with you guys and have a good time, but you know, we got a thing to do and we got a job, you know, in playing basketball. But that's another big part of it, is not making it a job for them. So I think they adjusted pretty quick to that. And then, you know, learning the schemes and everything, we were already behind with, you know, football's a great season, but you know, it's really started to show that you know, we're working. You know, the kids are working relentlessly, and you know, they've asked a couple times, and it's heart-wrenching, it's gut-wrenching when you hear a kid on the bench say, when are we going to get rewarded for all our hard work? You know, because we're losing close games, or we're not able to finish down the stretch, or little things here and there. And you know, so it's really just trying to, you know, keep the boys positive, keep them up, and keep them having energy, and you know, keep moving forward, because we're coming up on postseason, and it's going to be really fun for us.
And you mentioned the kids on the bench saying, when are we going to get rewarded? I think, you know, 9-14 on the year, but a lot of that, you've played some pretty good competition. Look back to Pinckneyville, top to bottom, the LIC is looking really good this year. So overall, I think the team has done well with the late start. Yeah,
I definitely agree. You know, it's a testament to the boys and everything that they're doing, because when we play these tough teams, we don't treat them any different. When we play a team that's, you know, maybe bottom tier or not as good as some of the other competition, we don't treat them any different either. And so, you know, for instance, the win against Carmi or the first half against Alney, we really held them down and, you know, showed that we can compete with them. And playing against Evansville Christian recently, who's the #1 team in 1A in Indiana, I mean, we played with them and made their hearts skip a beat, you know. So really, you know, we've shown we can compete, and, you know, we just got to tighten up a couple screws here and there. You know, most of the times it's turnovers for us, but yeah, we're on our way, man.
And with the postseason coming close, you don't really want to look towards next year, but it's kind of hard to ignore it with the season winding down. You have a really good freshman in Shane Metter.
Yes.
Jack Webb's only a sophomore, so the future of this team looking fairly bright.
Yeah, it's huge, and it's really nice to be able to get them that extra little bit of experience, especially down the stretch or against bigger teams. And you know, I'll have a couple moments, and I'm sure some people notice it when they watch a broadcast or something. I'll get real close in their ear and tell them, hey, next year you're going to be a main guy for us. You know, whether talking to Shane Metter, Elliot Akery, Jack Webb, or any of the young guys, you know, I got to tell them, hey, now's the time you dig deep. Show me you can do it. Show me some maturity and some growth, because you're not a freshman anymore. You're not a sophomore anymore at this point in the year. You know, I'm going to treat you like this next year. So, you know, it's good for them to get that experience and really let them know that, hey, I am looking in the future and I'm going to use you. You need to adjust to this and play accordingly. And I think they're doing really well, and, you know, they respond well in practice. And, you know, I see a couple of the guys going a little harder here and there. And so it is nice having those young guys, and our senior guys, they're always locked in. And, you know, I've talked about the senior group, especially senior night, you know, top to bottom, those guys, they work so hard, and they listen intently. They're asking questions, and Andrew Gillihan's being our leader, and it's kind of bleeding into the younger guys, because then they're starting to step up a little bit and asking the same questions and learning a lot more. So our future is definitely bright, but got to finish out this year first.
And speaking on those seniors, a lot of those seniors were part of that regional winning squad a couple of years ago. How big is that going into Hudsonville on Monday?
Oh man, it's huge. We're going to use that as motivation. You know, let's get back to what we were known for, and you know, just being a regional contender, because you know, not many teams can defend like us, and whether we can score or not, we'll figure it out. And that's us as a coaching staff. We'll figure that out, and we'll put players in successful positions. But whether we defend or not is not a question. The boys always give it their all. So you know, I think contending for a regional title is something that we can you know, keep doing, and it's not something that we should be putting in the back of our minds. It's something, it is a goal. It is a real goal for us, because if we can defend and keep teams under 45, it seems like, is the magic number, or 40, then we've got a ball game.
And looking all the way back to the beginning of the season, obviously a late start due to the high school football team making the state championship, and a lot of your guys being on that team. You think of Shane Metter, Connor Shelby. So how big of an impact did that make at the very start of the season?
Oh, huge. You know, they were already used to, you know, in regards to football, playing high competition and, you know, playing at a high level. And, you know, us only having 3 practices of me being able to put in 1 or 2 plays and, you know, a little bit of our defensive schemes and everything, you know, and they went out and they just executed that first game against Marshall. And, man, it was a, you know, you ever seen a 25-year-old gray hair? I thought it was going to be me right there, you know, but it was a fun one, and I'll never forget that first game. And the boys, you know, really worked hard. You know, Jackson Browning, I told them in the locker room, if you would have told me I start my coaching career by a game-winning save on defense by Jackson Browning, I would have told you you're crazy. But so it was really nice, you know, just to see them locked in on all angles and being able to really compete, even though they're kind of worn down from the football season. So it's really made a big impact. You know, we play physical and we're used to that, and especially the young guys that got a lot of minutes in football really help them be tougher on the court. So I think it's been a big positive impact for us.
And then looking forward to Monday, February 19th, obviously Hudsonville at the Hilltop. Going to be a great postseason atmosphere. How are you looking forward to that?
Man, I'm so looking forward to it. When I was in high school, you know, not too long ago, I guess you could say, but we didn't get to host a play-in or a full-on regional when I was in high school. So it's really nice to get to experience it firsthand as a head coach now too. So that's going to be a fun atmosphere. And, you know, the boys got a great senior night with that atmosphere, but now it's a little bit different because there's something on the line. You know, the season's going to be over. So it's just going to be a big emphasis on what do you want to do with this year? How do you want to end your season? Are you going to end it by giving up and rolling over? Or are you going to end the year by going all out and leaving it all out the floor?
And obviously you don't want to look past Hudsonville, but if you do get past them, you play Newton in Newton as the regional host. You've already played a lot of games in that gymnasium. You've played Newton close in that gymnasium. So if you are able to get past Hudsonville, how confident are you that you guys can go in there, get the job done, and make the regional championship?
Yeah, I'm super confident, you know, and I'll probably keep sounding like a broken record, as always, but no one defends like us. So I feel like throwing that at Newton, you know, it'll frustrate them, and their 2 main guys, 24 and 21, I believe it is, Nichols and Wolf, I can't remember his name. But those 2, you know, putting our best defenders on them and really focusing our defensive schemes on them, they're not used to that. You know, they've only played us once, and we got to look at them, and they got to look at us. But, man, we do that with every team. It's not just them. So, and we've only improved more and more, just like they have. So it'll be a fun game no matter what, and I'm excited for what that brings.
And then lastly, Coach, this senior group has been huge for you this year. With the season winding down, whether it be next week, the week after that, or all the way to the end of the road, how hard is it going to be to let these guys go?
You know, I touched on it. Man, I don't want to get emotional here, but I touched on it with you before senior night. You know, it's a special group, especially, you know, me and Coach McCarty being our first years and it meaning so much to us. And no matter what we do, it's going to be all the memories outside of basketball that we got to create, and getting to know each other and being as close with them and having that great bond and relationship with them. It's going to be tough, man. And I know I'm not going to, you know, necessarily get a group like this out of a senior class in a while. You know, it's hard to come by an Andrew Gillihan. It's hard to come by Connor Shelby with his build and size and what he can do on the court. It's hard to come by a duo like Levi Beasley and Jackson Browning, because they're very close, and you know, Shade Loudermilk doing everything I ask and always being smiles on the court. You know, it's hard to have that complete package from a senior class, I feel like. And especially 5 seniors, you know, usually it dwindles down to a couple less than that in Mount Carmel. So it's going to be really tough to say goodbye to them, but doors always open, and they know they can always come back and hang out.
Well, Coach, thank you for joining me here today. It was a pleasure to interview you.
Yep, thanks, Riley. I always appreciate it.
So for News Channel 15, you're watching In Focus. I'm Riley Angel.